just to explain the concept of AI and how agents are going to change our daily lives. But what if we just stop talking about it and just deliver agents to prove the value they can bring? And what if we could do so in only 5 days? This is rapid prototyping to the max, working on real business use cases with real business data and real business representatives to create agentic AI and build your own new digital colleagues. Today's guest delivers results with the Agent Factory. Mikal Netteberg is a solution advisor for SAP Business AI with a solid background in data and machine learning. How does the Agent Factory work? What kind of business cases can be tackled? What kind of tools does Mikal bring to the table? And how big is your team if you only deliver results in only 1 week? Stay tuned for today's episode. Welcome to HANA the Netherlands.
HANA Nederland is your one-stop shop for all things SAP. Grab yourself a coffee or tea and John Regulus, Jan Penninkhof,
Goedemiddag,
and Twan van the Broek,
that's me,
with our guests as they chat about latest developments, innovations, events, or simply catch up. Let's head inside.
Welcome, Mikal. Great to have you here just before your summer holidays.
Thanks a lot, Twan. Same to you. I assume also summer is coming up for you.
Yeah, it's September, but I'm counting the weeks.
A fair share of heat waves already.
yeah. The weather is good in the Netherlands. Welcome, Jan.
Yep. Welcome, Twan.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, and today we're going to talk about the Agent Factory and agents that didn't take over. This is all real. We are 3 real people talking to each other about AI.
It's an FB AI agent.
Okay, and for the people that are viewing our stream,
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, and so we have a screen because it's a different setup. Usually we have our guest in our studio, but today we have Mikal on the big screen. But Mikal is a real person. It's not an AI avatar. Mikal is living in Denmark, in Copenhagen, right? And but Mikal, maybe you can introduce the Agent Factory to us.
Yes. So the Agent Factory, as you said in the beginning, it's a rapid prototyping concept where we build agents, fine-tune agents in 1 week, and we do it on top of customer data. So something very rapidly, and the whole idea is we want to show things live, agents live from the first day in what we call the Agent Factory week.
But what do you mean with live in the first day? So you start working and you already show an agent?
Yeah, so what we do is that can say the week before we actually go into the Agent Factory week. So we have a process, and before we actually fine-tune build agents, we have received customer data because we want to not only to show the AI agents live, but we also want to show it on customer data. So the week before at least 1 week before, we can say we get the customer data, and we have some predefined templates that we put on top. So on the first day, we actually able to show live results on the customer data. They are not correct. They are can say the agents will do mistakes, but we also try to break the agents so we can fix them.
Yeah.
And for that. That's why it's so important that we show live results. We share the live results with the customer, and they give feedback to us.
And this is part of training the agents then?
Exactly. It's kind of like we call it the fine-tuning the agents. It's I think we made fun of being real people and not AI generated. So in many ways, an AI agent is like a new coworker.
Yeah, a digital colleague.
And that coworker. Exactly, and it's kind of like a real colleague. And what does that mean? It means that the way that you introduce a new colleague to do their work, they need to have some guidelines, they need to have some examples, and that is exactly the same we do during that week. So we have predefined agents we have set up we have multi agents set up in a team, and each of the agents, they need to be onboarded to that specific customer. So it actually becomes a real working co-worker in the end of the week on the Friday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But how does it work? I mean, do you bring your own bag of agents along and then pick one that you like and fits the
Yeah.
best, and then start to shape it and mold it until you have something that you can present to the customer? Because that's so quick to show something on the first day.
Yeah, it is. It is. So of course, in the Agent Factory, and that's also why we can do it in 5 days. There's a lot of things we do not do. There's a lot of scenarios we do not cover. So in the whole can say qualification process with the customer, we provide a list of use cases we support, and it's only those use cases that we do. And for those use cases, we have a template. We have a very good idea of the architecture and which agents to use in each of the scenarios. It's a little bit of we call it TV kitchen. So there are prepared things so we can focus on fine-tuning the agents that we have up. And kind of back to the whole coworker thing is that this, when I call it multi-agents, is because most of the cases, like in the real world, it makes sense to have a team working together to solve a case. And we have created these team of agents for specific use cases. Okay. So we kind of think about that. You take a digital copy of one team, you bring it into another company, and you just fine tune that team.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Would you allow me to read something from the website of SAP that is connected to Signavio?
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting, and it basically illustrates what you're saying.
Is it already your difficult question then?
No, it's not. It's not. This is my difficult, my less difficult readout.
Okay. No.
So it's in a certain paragraph. It says it's talking about company memory and about the agent stack and everything.
Yeah.
And it says, out of the box, even a very capable AI agent is just like a brilliant intern on the first day of work. It may be fast, articulate and impressive, but it does not understand how your business actually works. The challenge is not only that agents need more information, it is that they need the right kind of company-specific knowledge, namely current, governed, procedural and usable at runtime. That's the gap we try to address.
I think the context. So I like this because it also have this, you can say, cross into the human world. So it's kind of like, a new intern that you just have hired. And what would you do in the real world with an intern? It's exactly the same we do with an agent. And what have surprised me mostly during the different or the multiple agent factories I have run is that in the end, how human-like the agents and the agent teams, the multi-agents, are to the real teams in the real world. And then to bring them into that journey, you need to have what we call the nice word, corporate memory, context, business rules. And it's also that the human world is quite often ambiguous. So you need to explain some things that might not make sense to most of us and not to the agents as well, but you need to explain, to be explicit about some things. Kind of like with an intern, you need to explain this means this in this context.
Yeah, and you also mentioned a few minutes ago about that you bring in the templates from the use cases. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? What kind of use case do you tackle in an agent factory?
Yeah. So we have two scenarios that we cover. We call it unstructured to structured. And then the opposite, call it structured to unstructured. So the first type of use cases, again, it's these or scenarios is that each customer normally have, can say, their own variation of this. So and normally we accept these kind of use cases, but the unstructured to structured is normally documents. It might be invoices, sales orders, contracts, some things that only humans in the past could read and make sense out of. That is something that the agents, LLMs, are extremely good at. So these
they are good in interpreting what kind of document it is and what kind of information it is, and where you can find the information on the document.
Exactly. Yeah. So just a very simple case like an invoice. In the past, you would have to create a template saying this is where the header is, this is where, and you have to create a template for each supplier. Now agents, because of the LLMs, you just give it generic information, context, and it's able to pull out all the text, but also understand what kind of text it is.
Is it then
on a
also
document.
using SAP Document AI in the back, or is it
Yeah,
just
exactly. I think we use Document AI as a tool for the agents, and I think that's also part of the journey of the Agent Factory is that we only use can say general available software. So us coming from can say SAP software background, we know what that means, but for others, it is that we also have a lot of items. We are transparent with our customers, so we have a lot of things on the roadmap. Roadmap means it's not general available yet. You cannot buy it. You might be part of a beta program, and it's something coming in the future. In the Agent Factory, we have this built today, deployed tomorrow. It means that we only are using general available technology, and it has to be mature. So before the Document AI, we were actually creating a custom Document AI, but now with Document AI around, we are using that as one of the, I call it Lego bricks, as part of can say the agent flows that we are using.
Of course, there are Lego bricks. You are living in Denmark. Of course, you have to talk about
Exactly,
Lego.
That was always a good picture to bring up. But for me, agents is also like Lego bricks. You can combine them in multiple ways.
Yeah.
But Document AI is a fantastic tool, and it have, I think, for customers, for us in the Agent Factory, very happy when we could onboard the Document AI as one of the tools for the agents to use.
Yeah.
So it's not Joule Studio yet, the new Joule Studio 2.0 as they sometimes call it.
Exactly. So Joule Studio 2.0 is still, can say it's not GA yet, general available. So we're not using that one because we have customers. So last week, we cannot mention customer names, but last week I was at a Dutch customer, a very big manufacturing customer, where we did an Agent Factory for earlier, and we did a handover. And if we had used technology that is not general available, we wouldn't have been able to do the handover.
Yeah, of course they can't.
So
they can't use it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
exactly,
the handover.
Exactly. So,
But with the handover, you mean during the week you have created this rapid prototype, so you created a prototype on the customer data, and then, but it's not in the actual SAP the customer system, SAP system from customer.
No, we want to remove all, can say, potential complications when we do this 1 week. So that's why we do it in an SAP environment where everything is set up. Because normally it's not that the AI is difficult to do with in our environment or our customer environment, but the access and security and all these kind of things needs to be set up. That's why we have removed those complexities, and we normally do the agent. We always do the Agent Factory week in an SAP environment. But after that, if the customer wants to have it, we do a handover to the customer. Yeah. It might, of course, be SAP services.
So they will get a floppy disk.
Right?
Almost.
The 1 quart flexible floppy disk. Yeah.
Exactly. I think I like the picture of a floppy disk because it's almost like a floppy disk we give to them, and it's not always like last week. I didn't have access to their environment, so it was like a floppy disk. And they put it in, and we had 2 days with a handover. And on the second day, they had it running in their own environment.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
But
but they also were quite qualified as well.
And if you're not using the Joule Studio 2.0 to build agents, what kind of tools are you using to build it?
Yes, so we use it's called Pro Code, which I think Joule Studio 2.0 also supports. We are using an open source framework called LangGraph. SAP has built a Python SDK for supporting this. So it's not just something we randomly are using. So again, but we are using SAP BTP platform. We are using AI Core. We're using HANA Cloud. So we're using, can say, many of the BTP components when we are using the agents. But for building the actual agents right now, we are using with the, can say, standard SDK from SAP. We are using the LangGraph to build the agents, and of course the LLM, which is a major part, is coming from the AI Core on the BTP platform.
Right. For this customer in Holland, which AI language model did you use?
We used we used the GPT, I think 5.4, if that's what you mean.
Yeah,
And we
great.
also
Yeah.
use the LangGraph. Yeah. So, and I think that's also we normally I also normally say that during the Agent Factory week we don't discuss function and features, and one reason is that now we talk about the GPT 5.4. Things are moving so rapidly. So we might be using, same with document AI. So 1 week we might be using one thing,
Yep.
but the next week something upgraded, better is coming.
Yep.
So it's not many months ago I was using GPT-5 or GPT 5.1. And sometimes we also use the Anthropic model as well. So it's a little bit a mix, but we always try to use the latest LLMs available on the SAP AI core.
Right. And if you're allowed to, can you elaborate a little bit on the functionality that's provided by this agent? What does it do?
Yeah, so we have different use cases. So based on the use case, so the one we did last week was what is called sales variance analysis. It's about that you compare 1 quarter numbers, sales numbers, with you can say the last quarter or the last year. You can be quite flexible, and the agents we have 4 agents collaborating to do all the calculations. And so in essence, you actually have, if I should just explain the agent flow, so you have one agent, we call it the router agent. It's kind of like a reception agent. So imagine that you have a question, then the routing agent would have to understand the question and where to route it to.
Yep.
What kind of department would have the experts. It's exactly the same agent flow we have up. So the routing agent will route the question. And in this case, it would route it to, can say, a sales variance analysis expert agent. And that agent is what we call a deep agent. It's a very thorough agent. It also takes quite some time. And what this agent is doing is it's created a plan for both how to do the calculations and how to present it in the end. Then it feeds this plan to the next agent, which is the data agent. That this data agent is an expert in SAP HANA Cloud. It does all the calculations inside HANA Cloud, and it pulls up the final numbers, and it provides the numbers to the, can say, executive summary agent that also have the plan for the domain expert agent. And then it takes the numbers, it creates a report, it also creates comments as well. And it's around, in a Word document, it would be around 2.5 page report.
So, but how do you present it to the end user?
That's so also because end users have different requirements.
Yeah.
So somebody actually just wants to have it in a Word document, which we have done. Somebody wants to have it written back to a database so they can use it as part of, can say, a BI report. But we also created, can say, a dual interface, so you can also have it in your dual UI as well. So there are different options.
Yeah, okay, multiple options. So, but one of the options is that you have Joule, and then you integrate your agents into Joule.
Yeah, exactly. I think, but it's also, I think, in the Agent Factory, there's also many things that we do not do and is not important. So actually, the UI part is something that is, you can say, we do, but it doesn't have the highest priority because it is not. So if we can create the full report, then we have proven the AI can do it. Then how you present it is, can say, less important in the factory.
Yeah. Is a next step.
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's all about the information that's in there, right? So
exactly, and it's about with 5 days it's also we cut a lot of things off, saying we are not doing this. We call it also proof of AI. So the UI is less important, but we also understand, because each day, each afternoon, we have a call with the customer. We present the results, but we also understand it's nice to have a nice UI to present it in as well.
Yeah, it should be looking flashy, of course. But then it's about the information, and I guess it's also what you do with it. So once that report is coming out of there, what is it being used to steer, for instance, the result of the next quarter?
It's used to do a follow-up, and of course steering the next quarter.
Oh, you mean follow up and fire the non-performing folks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sales,
Depends
right?
on, yeah, I think, but most companies, of course, say, okay, we missed some numbers. So why did we miss the numbers? So of course, how companies are using the reports is not always we know that. But I think from a business case perspective, and now this report takes around, you say, 3 to 5 minutes to generate, which actually feels like a very long time.
Mhm.
But when I talked to a customer, said 5 minutes, that is nothing because we spent 2 days, 25 people to build exactly the same report.
2 days for 25 people.
Yeah.
And now you have 4
So
or
it's
5
also-
agents and 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, and
Whoa,
so it's also
impressive.
of course. So I think it's also quite impressive. I was quite impressed because actually at that point in time we were using an older LLM, and it took 15 minutes, and they were still impressed about it. Now because we have optimized it and the new LLM, it only takes this 3 to 5 minutes. But also show that if you actually, as a company, is willing to spend 2 days, 25 people, it's also something that is quite important for you.
What are these 25 people going to do now?
That's a good question.
That was a difficult question.
I think in most cases, what I hear, because we do the proof of concept and somehow we move on to the next customer. We hand it over to the customer.
Yeah, let them figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm not the HR manager for SAP or for other companies as well. And of course, it's a very good question because we just spoke about that agents have, you can say, many similarities to real coworkers. In the cases I have heard of, people get more time to do, let's call it qualitative work.
Yeah,
Right.
the not
Yeah.
repetitive work. So the repetitive work is taken from them, but they can do more.
Yeah,
of the-
so I had another case, and that's the case I heard about. That actually it was the first case we did last year with Agent Factory, where, and I think also a good thing, a good explanation of what can you do with agents and LLMs. They would get a request from their customers saying that they want to buy, can say, a number of products. So a customer would, for instance, write, I would like to buy 20 of these pieces. And these pieces was an attachment, and this attachment was an image with a red circle around it. And I
Okay.
think for us, it was also a little bit of a, you can say, an aha moment that the agent was actually able to read the email in almost all languages.
Mhm.
It was able to connect it to the attachment, including the image with the red circle around it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
So
also
something
impressive.
you-
Yeah.
It is because you
Yep.
think, okay, it's only us that can do that.
Not
and
anymore.
I think for them, sorry,
Not anymore. An AI can do it too.
AI can do
Yeah.
it as well, but for them picking up all the emails where they want to do something else, something more, now the agent can do this kind of work as well.
So Mikal,
Yeah.
if you look at the agent that you just built, right? So it has a couple of
Yeah.
sub agents built into it, or so actually agents, of course, but they
Yeah.
have this routing agent in front of them. How
Yeah,
long do you
yeah,
think
yeah.
it will take to get this team of agents expanded with another agent that actually has the controls to change, for instance, let's say, to build promotions or to change incentives of sales, to actually have the controls in place to steer the next quarter autonomously?
Yeah, but I think that exists as of today. But I think again, you can say I see everybody's also right now. One of the big things is this kind of like let's call it McKinsey-like agents being built on McKinsey-like skills.
Mhm.
So you would actually have. So I'm thinking that again, think about like a real company. One team would do the report, another team can say responsible for the strategy would pick up that report. So I think
Right.
it is disconnected. So one team would build the report, another team, again, that could be agents. They could have been filled with McKinsey-like skills, and they would actually follow up on the results. They would adjust or change the strategy as well. So I think that to some extent is already happening.
Do we
in some
already have
cases.
those agents in SAP? Hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
I doubt it that we have it.
Yeah.
So, but I think again, it's probably the reality as well that we see. We are still in the beginning of the agents, which is fascinating, but also scary because I think we are in kind of like for me in the beginning of the television is that we are looking into the television and we are hearing the radio. So we don't really know what to use the television for. And I think with the same with the agents, we are trying to do the easy stuff.
To figure it out. What
Yeah,
what
yeah,
what
Yeah,
we can
figuring
do.
out
Yeah.
exactly. Let's do the manual work.
Yeah.
And imagine what happens if we eventually get there and have HD color TV.
Ooh.
Yeah,
4K.
exactly with agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think all of us that I think are using Claude Code or using Perplexity, whatever, we also see the advantage when a new LLM is arriving. And those LLMs it's kind of like you have an agent and you can say, let's say you have a coworker and suddenly that coworker might be, coming from high school and you just replace the brain with a PhD or can say a professor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like when agent you just plug in a new LLM and suddenly it has the capacity of we can say a professor that knows everything in the universe, more or less.
I like to touch kind of an I/O port in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. But delivering such kind of working agents within 1 week, it's a prototype on a prototyping environment. How many people do you bring to build those agents?
25.
Yeah, it's a good. We are very few people, and that's also by purpose. And we also have can say sometimes discussions with other teams. So normally we are, I would say, max 3 people.
3
building the 3 people. So one.
That's a small team.
It's a small use case. So yeah,
small
it's
team.
a small team.
Yeah.
But it's also, and I think you and I have also discussed it, that each person is actually both the architect, the project manager, and the builder.
Okay.
So
And-
there
and
are
so-
multiple agents in one as
They're
well.
a self-steering team.
Yeah, they are. I think they should have 3 times salary, but
Yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
No, that's what you want to. That's why you are in. You want 3 times your salary. Yeah. Okay.
But I think it's about that. I think in those cases, I think again you only have one use case. You have can say because we have the preparation part, so there's a very good idea of what to do, and we don't have a fixed can say project plan. We have a fixed schedule with the customer that we talk to them each day, but it's very going into iterations. So we are using this plan, do, check, act approach each day. And if it's just one person, then that person just have to coordinate with himself, herself.
It sounds easy.
It sounds easy, but of course, the Agent Factory is also quite intensive. And but when we have selected a lot of use cases that we do not do, we also have a very good idea of how to solve the use case. which
That's
I
like
think
with your
is-
templates, what you mentioned in the beginning.
Exactly. I think that's solving half the problem into it. And so far, we have actually solved all use cases. And of course, I'm being biased right now. I think we only have happy customers. It's not always easy. I would say one of the biggest issues we have, and again, you will probably laugh because that's the same issue that has been around for 20 years. That is kind of like with data, when we receive data from the customer. That might have different problems or, classic things that has nothing to do with AI. That's probably where we struggle the most.
The quality of the data, you mean?
Quality of the data, explanation of the data. We might receive 5 data sets, but how to combine the 5 data sets, etc. The standard things that has always been an issue is probably one of the biggest challenges we have as well.
And is
in
it
the Agent
is it
Factory.
then the understanding of the data that you got delivered? Is that the manual job, a human job, or is that do you have an agent to make give context to the data?
Both. Yeah, both. So again, the context, since it needs to be the company, the customer company context.
Yeah.
Normally, I can make a draft with an agent. So I'm also using assistants, agent assistants. I can make a draft, but the customer themselves needs to provide me, especially when we talk about data sales variance analysis. They have their own business rules, they have their own terminology, they have their own context.
Yeah.
And that's actually where we spend the full week to embed that into the agent. So
Yeah.
the agent on the Monday, it might be my agent, but on the Friday, it's actually the customer's agent.
And those new agents that you deliver, again, prototyping, but like you just explained with a handover, are going to work in the real environment. They are the new interns, the new digital colleagues.
Exactly, yeah.
With whom do you connect at customer side? Is it, what kind of people are there? Is that the IT side of the company or the business side?
Yeah, very good question. I think we and again, nothing to do with AI. We always try to mostly speak to the business.
And why is
because
that?
they understand, because they understand the context of the company.
Yeah.
They understand the business rules. So a sales variance analysis, if I didn't have the business coming in, nobody would be able to validate that report. Is the numbers correct? Does it make sense? Should I use this wording? So normally it's actually, I would say, business people that has an IT interest or flavor as well.
Yeah. And
but business, as always, is really important.
But you just mentioned that they need to validate whether the agents are giving the right answer, because they are also the co-workers of those business representatives, right? So
exactly,
they are validating their new colleague. They're doing the intake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
And it is, but you can imagine that we have a report and we might do 100 calculations, and if just one of those calculations is not correct, then the report is not correct. So they actually also are very thorough going through the results that the agents have created as well.
Yeah. Now you know me, so
it's very important. I think it came to me when it's a story in Diginomica, in which John Reed, our old mentor brother fellow, was actually doing an interview with Philip Herzig.
Yeah.
And Philip reminded John about the fact that Steve Jobs already told long ago that when it comes down to business, that business is in business a lot of things are folklore. And he said they are done because they were done yesterday and the day before.
And 20 years ago.
Yeah, and 20 years ago. And there's no one that can understand these processes and these quirks as well, if you like, these folklore things as good as the business does.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think
that's a shift, because I think SAP is used to talk to IT people with the implementation of SAP or whatever solution from SAP. But this is really different. You need to talk to the business representatives.
Yeah, and I think I like this folklore because actually that is the reality. And so many of the people we speak to, it's not always they're able to explain why it's not the correct result. And then I say to them, what is going on in your head? Explain to me what you are thinking. And again, what we also build into the agents is also the patterns and documentation. So it's also actually a way for the agents, when we have these agentic solutions, to begin to document what normally is around in a few people's minds today.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm a real big fan of your Agent Factory, and one day I hope to be part of it. But to do so, we came up at least at SAP Benelux with a new initiative, which builds on top of your initiative, we call the SAP Business AI Roadshow. And of course, if you ask our people here, our smart people here in the Benelux, they like to bring some kind of vehicle. In the past, we did that with a truck, the Run Live truck, and a mobile innovation lab. But this time we have a very nice silver bullet-like caravan trailer, which is called an Airstream, and not called an Airstream, it's an Airstream, but it's really handy because it has AI in the name. And I don't have jingles now too. And we did 1 week together, Mikal, and together also with Joost and with Alex. We worked at, and we can say that because the case just came out on LinkedIn this week with the Ministry of Defense, which is not the ordinary customer. But that's also, maybe you can explain the case, but we brought a caravan also for 1 week, rapid prototyping. We brought the experts, we brought the customer in, and we delivered agents from day one. So I've seen the concept; it's really powerful. Can you summarize?
The videos on LinkedIn, by the way? So maybe in the show notes we can link to those.
Yeah, Yeah, and maybe Mikal, also for the podcast, can you explain what we built for Ministry of Defense?
Yeah, we built a chatbot where I can say the different personas, they can ask questions and the agents behind it. So it, to some extent, it's similar, can say very similar to what we have in Agent Factory. So you have multiple agents that collect the information based on the persona and can say provide an answer to those personas. If you are, can say the captain, or you are, can say officer of logistics, etc. So again, the agents are kind of like, again, co-workers that each persona can use to fetch the information.
And we had 4 different kind of personas, so totally different jobs, totally different roles. The captain of the ship, we had the head of the technical department on the ship, and then we had 2 people onshore working in the warehouse and one doing the transport planning, and they all had their own agent.
Yeah. I think that it's an interesting part. We spoke about the agent before, so you can say that it's different personas, but each persona required to some extent the same support. So each of them required, can say, a data agent that could go into S4 and extract the right information. Yeah. So in that respect, it's kind of like that you have a team, and the different personas, of course, have different reports they require, but they also require, can say, a shared service center. So in essence, we were actually creating a shared service center for each of the personas that they could leverage to answer the questions.
Yeah, but then they did, and then also depending on the role, like the captain has to needs to know everything, but in a concise way. And then, of course, the transfer planner needs to have all the details to have where is the ship, where are you going to, and that was really interesting to see that with taking into account the role, the answer is also different, but based on the same information.
Same on the base. I think that's also the interesting with agents. So when you define an agent, and you can say defining an agent, what it's supposed to do and not do, it's in plain English. So normally you would say you are an expert in something. So if it's a captain, you would say, well, you are, can say, supporting the captain. You need to speak in this language, and these are the major KPIs that you need to support. Yeah. So that's how you actually define the agent and ensures that it becomes relevant based on the persona and the question, and it has the right sentiment and using the right, can say the right language as well.
And also in this case, the customer was really happy with the end results of the agents working together and delivering the answers on base of structured information from S/4HANA, but also a lot of unstructured information in tons of reports that they have at their hand.
And I think that the agents, the ability to actually read and understand documents, I think that's of course where they excel, because doing calculations is where you have the BI reports, etc. that can do that.
And then reading so many documents in so little time is really powerful. And so our roadshow does not replace the factory, so you will continue your successful AI Agent Factory, and we will just starting up. And I think we are going to work together also after your holidays. We will have a 1 week in the trailer. And but this is also reach out to our listeners. If you have a really nice business AI use case, then we're happy to pick it up, Mikal, right?
Exactly, and I think for me there's not that much difference. You also do 5 days, also rapid prototyping, and I think you have, you can say, you're taking a little bit more risk than I am, because you are inviting all potentially AI use cases into the Airstreamer. But in essence, I think again, I learned from the Agent Factory, was inspired by the Run Live truck, the old thing we did. And so it's kind of like in a circle we are moving around. So and I would say that of course we are a little bit jealous of the marketing budget you have, because we are sitting in an SAP office.
Maybe we can bring the care of the trailer once to Copenhagen, and then you can shine there as well.
We need to do that. But I'm very happy to being part when it's possible to the Airstreamer cases.
I think we will have some nice cases remaining for also in the Agent Factory, but also in our Airstream this year, and possibly also next year, because Once we start roll out the agents, then people get inspired by the use cases, and then say, hey, that's something that we can do as well in our organization. That would
I
be
agree.
great. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that also the Airstream and the Agent Factory, the similarities is that now I have to put it nicely, but we tend, and in the market there's a tendency to talk about agents, to show nice videos, show now nice PowerPoints. But I think both in the Airstreamer and the Agent Factory, we actually want to show something live instead.
Yeah.
And we want to do it. We want to be as close to the customers as possible, and not having too many PowerPoints, but actually show things live on top of their own data.
Yeah.
So they really get the feeling of what is an agent, because I think in many cases customers are still probably confused, and and there's a big appetite to see something real.
Yeah, but building on top of their own data, that's so powerful, because that they
It
know
is,
the context of the data, they understand
Yeah.
what is being presented, and they can validate the reply, and that's really
Exactly. It's
all right. Yeah,
Twan, I have a difficult question.
you have a difficult question.
Yeah.
You want to say that it's time
I
to
was
wrap up?
waiting for it.
No, I just have a difficult question.
A difficult question. Okay.
We Danes, Dutch, we are alike. We just say things as they are.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we. That's our conclusion of before.
Trying to be
we
polite.
Before we started the podcast.
Yes.
So do your jingle.
Yeah, but this is Jan's tough question.
Yes. Thank you, Twan. I was waiting for this moment the whole podcast already.
Yeah.
So, I'm Jan. Talking about personas, right? I'm Jan. I'm a listener to this podcast, and I would love to get started with these agents and stuff. I see the value, and I want to run it on my SAP data. What skills do I need, and how do I get started?
Have to clone Jan.
That's a good question. So of course, based on you, so based on your, can say, IT skills. So the good thing is we are working with the low code, no code, and pro code. So if you don't have any IT skills, you have the low code, which is Tool Studio, and there you have the ability to create a simple agent. And again, because defining the agent is just, you can say, a job description that then I assume that everybody can do.
Yeah.
So you are an expert in something.
In just normal and natural language, right? You explain it in natural language.
Yeah. Plain. You normally I do it in plain English, but I assume you could do it in plain Dutch or Danish as well. So with that one, of course, if the agent is not connected yet, but with that one, you would see that you suddenly have an agent with, let's call it, personality, and based on the skills that you have put into that agent. And of course, when we talk about tools, how do you work with your SAP data? Then you, of course, need to connect it. And how do you connect it? Again, you do as you normally do. So SAP has the standard APIs. As an example, it might have a data product. So you would connect your agent to systems, SAP systems, applications, data, like you normally would connect it to it. So with can say with an API, an S4 system, you can say a JDBC driver if it's HANA Cloud or something similar.
Yeah. And then do I need Python? If I am an IT skilled person,
you don't need Python, because you have the low code where you don't need Python. So why would you need Python? Python is more if you create multi-agents, you want to have a very rigid structure. How should the agents collaborate? So in my case, I have a very rigid structure. I don't want the agent spending too much time to figure out who to collaborate with. So I said, I know how you should collaborate. So that's why I have defined that in Python. And I might also using some other tools as well. But you can start quite easily in a low code tool like Tool Studio to create a simple agent. Again, just try to create the instructions. And if somebody would say, how do I create the instructions? I would go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, and say, create me the instructions.
So you can even use AI to generate those instructions.
Yeah. But again, we all are doing that. So when I create instructions, so we are so logged in inside SAP that we have a Cloud Code. So for me to optimize, I might write the instructions myself, but then I would ask Cloud Code to optimize the instructions and also ensure that the agents, they are, can say, consistent, that they're not doing work that other agents is doing. So for me, using AI to create agents, so using agents to create agents is quite normal nowadays.
But think of how to implement AI in your daily life. That's the first mind shift that you need to take, right? And of course, you're not talking about delivering agents and coding agents, but that's also what I did with the podcast, with the text. Like I created the intro myself, and then I asked, and this time I asked Gemini, hey, can you optimize the intro? And then some difficult English words got out, but then it helps me to write an intro faster.
Yeah, I think that I think the mind shift might be the biggest barrier for most people nowadays, that they think, okay, AI tools are more to write, you can say, funny songs or things like that. But I think how we are going to integrate it into our mailboxes, into think about doing time reporting. Who wouldn't want an agent to do that?
Yep.
So I think it's a mind shift. And when I see our colleagues that are more in the sales, how they use it to identify, summarize things, for them it's also like having a co-worker working with them, doing some of the more boring stuff.
Yeah. So interesting times ahead, really. But first, next step for you, Mikal, is having a summer holiday, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 1 week left. And then
I wonder what the AI personality would be for a agent that lives on a Friday afternoon or doing some holidays.
Yeah, having some bitterballen. Yeah. Okay, but thank you very much, Mikal, for joining today's episode from HANA Café and all your insights on the Agent Factory. And I wish you a lot of more new agents that you can deliver in the future, also together with us in our Airstream in the roadshow.
Maybe also just a quick shout out to Joost and Alex, right? Yeah. My team members and also your team members now that have been helping you in the AI Factory.
Sorry, those are it's definitely the experts in the Agent Factory in the Netherlands. So
we should invite them. As well. Yeah, invite them once to another episode as well, because I think we can talk for more hours on this concept. But thank you very much for today, Mikal, and thanks also Joost and Alex for the good work that they did at the Ministry of Defense. Yes. And have a very nice summer holiday, and see you after a few weeks.
Good. Same to you all in the studio. So Jan, Twan, Kadir. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, and thanks, dear HANA Café friends, for joining us today in this episode, watching it on YouTube or listening to us in your favorite podcast platform. See you next time.
Have a great weekend.
And that's a wrap for this episode of HANA Café Nederland. Jan and Tom, loved having you here. Drop us a line if you have any thoughts or want to be on the show. We'll be back soon with more SAP goodness. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Okay. Let's switch off the recording.
Wanneer mag ik fijn weekend zeggen dan?
Nu.
Oh, fijn weekend. Doei. Hey, doe je?
Okay, I will leave, guys. But I think
okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to wait before the final jingle, and now I'm ending the stream on YouTube. So now we are. The recording is
for
done.
that.
I can switch on my. Where am I? I'm over here.